I'm about to watch Rebel Moon, the Zack Snyder Star Wars movie that I didn't get to make. Oh no, and I will get your immediate reaction after the film of Rebel Moon. So I'm gonna go watch it. Come back. Oh my. Oh. Oh no. It's like, yeah, Campia did a 13-minute review of it briefly with his people. Said, oh yeah, it's ripping off this old Roger Corman movie, which was ripping off Star Wars. Uh, kind of. It does play like the dialogue does play like a Roger Corman movie, but some of the effects as well. But right, wow, oh yeah. Unlike Aquaman 2, where I rambled on for almost 40 minutes, I think I can probably do a little better job with this one. So we have, yeah, it's a Star Wars. Well, he wanted to do his own Zack Snyder Star Wars movie, and he succeeded in doing something kind of resembling a Star Wars parody. It takes itself too seriously, of course. It has a Mercedes lackey type griffin, which is fun. You get to see a griffin. We've seen that in Harry Potter with the hippogriff, but here we see it again with a Indian guy training a hippogriff. We've got an evil General Hux type of bad guy, played by a guy from Inglourious Bastards, being evil. It was like he was doing a version of the Star Wars sequels with General Hux as bad guy. So basic plot of the movie, because why not spoilers? It's Netflix. It's probably one of the worst things I've seen this year. If not the worst. I think these other movies that I saw this year were not as bad. This is I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt, even, so Star Wars, just wow. Okay, so basically, he wanted to remake the prequels or the sequels, Star Wars. The new ones with Rey. So he's like, okay, we're gonna he's gonna remake the J.J. Abrams Star Wars movies, basically. So he's got a Rey type character. In this universe, the world building isn't bad per se. There's some interesting planets reminiscent of new BSG, and reminiscent of, which was a Star Wars. The original BSG was a rip-off Star Wars, a TV series of Star Wars, basically, before they ever had a TV series. Didn't have TV shows of Star Wars until just a few years ago. It took them that long to make a full-on TV series and do like different episodes of series until Disney Plus got able to do that. They had cartoons and they had specials before, and they had 2-hour movies and Ewoks and stuff like that, but not that. But they did not have a full-on Star Wars series until the newer ones. So we have Star Trek is still way ahead with 900 episodes of television. They're still way, way ahead. Star Wars having maybe 200 episodes of television is not much. But yeah, if that. So we have, and counting Rebels and all the animated stuff too. They did have the animated stuff, but this is not really Star Wars. This is a imitation of Star Wars. This is which Star Wars is not entirely original either as a concept. It's basically the Hidden Fortress, a cowboy movie, a western, a Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon movie, and a bunch of other things thrown in. This one's no different. I think Zack Snyder would be good doing a something along those lines again. Maybe not the Watchmen movies again. Certainly, he did the evil Nazi-like bad guys go to this farm planet, basically, they imply in the movie, because they mention Castor and Pollux stars, and there's like several. So I'm assuming that he was just using the names to do that. It mentions that one of the planets is Castor, but Pollux planet. No, it's a star. Castor and Pollux are double stars in a double star system. It also happens to be the same star system as in New BSG. It's Castor and Pollux, so it's literally a New BSG. Firefly. And Firefly. No. Firefly as well. It's supposed to be something like that system, and fans have said, "Oh, it's Castor and Pollux that fits." But yeah, okay, there would be plenty of planets there because there'd be all 4 stars. But yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, they were commenting also on the review of John Campia's show, saying the space backgrounds are very similar all the way through, and they kind of were, but it's very clearly a Netflix TV movie. They didn't really need a major budget with that. I just saw lens flares around rockets, even though that kind of makes no sense. And a lot of homages to Star Wars. I don't think he gets Star Wars, though. I think he just thinks, like, I'm going to take little bits and pieces from other Star Wars things and put them in my movie. Who farm community attacked by space Nazis, like the Stormtroopers. Do that. But make it more like the newer ones. With Rey, the girl is clearly like Rey. Except Daisy Ridley can act. This lady, unfortunately, kind of can't. But I think the problem is that she's given dialogue that no human would say. And everyone is given dialogue that no human would say. The bad guys rough up a girl who's a water carrier girl, water girl. There's a robot that the water girl befriends. The robot puts on flower garland on its head and acts all weird. And at the end of the movie, he pops up again with deer antlers. But the bad guys at one point raise a planet, and they didn't go back to the farm planet and raise it, like blow it up with their dreadnought ship. The ships look like space dildos, or razors, or something similar in halfway in between, or like canes and stuff. Just wow. Jupiter Ascending, which this is similar to, was at least a little more entertaining because it was so bad it's good. This is best of the worst territory. This is so bad it's not good. Except for the griffin flying scene, which is very fake looking. That was kind of fun just because you get to see a guy try to ride a griffin. Guy's a slave. The black guy's Michael Bay. Damn it, I keep saying Michael Bay. It's not Michael Bay, it's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. What the fuck? Don't put an Indian guy or a black guy in irons. That's just, no, don't do that. No. Anyway, but yes, no. Yeah, so we have the farm guy and the pseudo girlfriend go to a planet where they is Han Solo and Leia character, or Han, Luke, and go to a planet, the various other planets in the system. One of the planets that they go to has a cantina. They go to the cantina and they do that thing. And she beats up an alien that wants to fuck the guy. Because, that's funny. Well, or she'd already previously beaten up the bad guy soldiers. And they didn't come back. But apparently didn't mind that their rapey soldiers were beat up. And, of course, she's a badass because Zack Snyder, I was almost going to say Michael Bay again. Zack Snyder wanted to do that sucker punch thing again, but this time have her actually beat up the bad guys in real life. Sort of like Joss Whedon would do. But neither of these guys are feminists, so they're pretending to be their posers. And we're not believing I'm not believing for a minute that he really thinks that badass women are awesome. He just thinks, it would be cool if he, beats up or rapist bad guys. Because the misogyny is right they're prevalent throughout, so why would that suddenly be changed? Just because there's a badass girl in it. One of the guys turns on him, double crosses and stuff like that. They go to another planet where there's they go to the planet where they rescue the Native American guy who's all buffed and he's chained up, and that's where he flies the Griffin. There's another scene where, and then he goes free, and the evil everybody who's evil in this gets a comeuppance because he feels like they need to get a comeuppance immediately, with the exception of the main bad guy at the end, who of course they've resurrected at the end, just so he can go meet with the king in the afterlife or something. I don't know how that works. They go to a planet where there's like a black market thing with an Asian lady who then fights an arachniformed spider robot lady who has eggs for some reason. And apparently she was a creature of this other planet that they have commandeered, and one of the natives of the planet. And she's like some of the world building is interesting. Some of the aliens and things like that are interesting. Spider lady, what is her anatomy like? How does she do that? How does she, how does she able to have eggs? She's partly a robot. She's obviously half mechanical. And the Asian lady beats her up, of course, because she's a badass and she has lightsabers, but they look more like plasma sabers. And then later on, she helps in this fight. So they go to an arena planet on Castor Pollux Castor, and even though those two stars are different, and they get the general guy who's been drinking, I guess, and they bring him along, and he doesn't want to fight anymore, and they convince him to fight. Then there's this weird scene where the ship pilot is clearly going to turn on them. It's really obvious, and he's trying to like butter them up with information about honor and stuff. Obviously he's going to turn on them. The dialogue is really weird, and I'm going to also quote from the Campia thing because he quoted from the same source. George Lucas, the original Star Wars, didn't know how to do a lot of the dialogue either. So in The Empire Strikes Back, it wasn't the first one. Campia was wrong. It was the second one. Harrison Ford was like, no human would say this dialogue, George. Can I rewrite this love scene between me and Leia where I'm like hitting off on her? And because no human would talk like this. And he's all like, I got this big elaborate speech in there. He's like, no. Han Solo would just be like, he'd be suave about it. He'd just be like picking up on her, little whips and everything. And there was this big long line, and it's the epic scene that everyone likes in Empire Strikes Back, the epic scene where she says, I love you, she finally admits, and he simply turns around and says, I know. That's all you needed. That's so awesome. That's like, oh shit. Yeah. He wants to have some of that. That Leia. What's funny is Luke kissed Leia in that movie, and they were brother and sister. Kinky. But yeah, he didn't know that at the time that they were siblings. That was in Return of the Jedi. So in this movie, you've got Star Wars tropes. You've got Arachnia from Voyager, basically. It's Queen Arachnia, the arachnid spider lady. You've got who gets killed. You've got other people getting killed. You've got a final battle that's ripped off from Empire Strikes Back with him hovering in the air over some big minefield, floating city thing, like that floating city with the guy, and the betrayal from that. So it's got that in there. And she fights the main bad guy on this big mining rig thing, floating in the air, floating rig. It's a landing strip thing. And he falls allegedly to his death, but he didn't, because they're going to make more of these. It's part one. And so she's supposed to be the soldier lady. And when he the other dropship comes and rescues him, even though they kind of blow up the dreadnought. They destroy it. The black guy sacrifices himself to blow up the dreadnought. which suddenly reduces in size small enough for him to climb in the cockpit. And why would the bad guys be dumb enough to let their mothership come down on the dock thing and sit there long enough for this guy to like run up to the cockpit and break inside it? The bad guys are really stupid in this movie. Even though they killed the horse squid guy planet, they killed the planet because he was part of. Yeah, that was one of the stories. They go to the squid guy's planet to like get all the rebels to go and fight on the squid guy's planet. So it's not quite the Mon Calamari guy. It's more like a horse squid thing. It's different from Star Wars enough. Zack Snyder, I'd say give Zack Snyder opportunity to do it instead of this ridiculous thing. Give him one of those Disney Plus Star Wars series. Let him do one instead of this silly thing. He'd probably do it better than but rein him in though. Say, okay, this is someone else's script. We want you to direct it. It's a better script than yours. Your script is a mess. Yeah, so we want you to direct. And stop with the slow-mos. The slow-mos are stupid. So it was cool when she beat up the rapist bad guys or beat up the alien that wanted to fuck that guy. But it's like, ew. But it's like, yeah, the slow-mo stuff isn't necessary in your movie. All the angst and stuff and baits and switches, dialogues and stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to go on that much about this one because it was just a train wreck. A hot mess. It was a hot mess. Battle Beyond the Stars. They compared it to Battle Beyond the Stars. I would watch Battle Beyond the Stars again rather than watch this again, because at least that one was trying. You know, it's on a par with Space Raiders, I guess. Though, kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it's on a par with that one. That's pretty bad. That's not the one with the young Molly Ringwald in it. Yeah, or that was the other one. Yeah, that was the Space Adventures or whatever. Oh, so yeah, you have that also had a pervy bad guy in it. The one with the young Molly Ringwald in it. They seem to like that in that story. Yeah, so. Kind of Space Raiders was the other one, wasn't it? It was the one with the boy and the kid and the Han Solo guy. Yeah, that was a different one. But yeah, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, something similar to Space Raider, like yeah. Oh shit! Oh, it's kind of similar. That was the Molly Ringwald movie. It was actually called Space Hunters: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. Different movie. But yes, similar to this. Very similar. That was another thing, too. It's kind of an Enemy Mine ripoff, but even though it was before Enemy Mine. So yeah, this one is like just... I realize it's part one of a 3-part story, you know, and why make it a trilogy? It's you know... If it was somebody's fanfic, it would be a high-concept fanfic. But it's not quite good enough for that either. It's just kind of a mess. I'm sure all the I can say Michael Bay again. The Snyder sick fans will be like, no, they'll complain about the reviews being bad. Oh, no. This movie deserves to be on Best of the Worst on Red Letter Media. They need to review this movie. Red Letter Media, Mike, Rich, and Jay, get on this movie. Review this movie. It is spectacularly awful. You will love to tear it apart. I'll let you guys do it, because I'm sure that we'll find something interesting. There are some interesting ideas. There's the evil torture chair zap thing in the back of the neck thing. Yeah, that's kind of fun. There's the robot thing that transforms out of a box. It's kind of cool. They do some interesting things. They have some interesting visuals. That skyport docking area is interesting, even though it's gravitationally ludicrous. Is it a low gravity planet or something? Because yeah, hanging from these giant things, you would have vertigo immediately and fall off. Just doesn't make sense. But yes, yeah. Why did they destroy the squid dog planet thing and not destroy the farm planet? I think they would have, because they're like, damn it, they killed our guy. They bring him back, and the robots, who are also similar to that robot from the beginning, they're the medics, and they're fucking with them. They're doing the Anakin at the end of episode 3 thing, trying to put them back together. But yeah, we didn't really need that either. We didn't need to see the origins of, like, the first in the Star Wars trilogy. The 3 versions of that. We could have just started with episode 3. That would have been great. But no, Lucas wanted to do the kid Luke, and then kid Vader, and then kid Anakin, and then middle high school Anakin, and then later. But yeah. If it had tried to be its own thing, it actually would have worked in the same way that a lot of people complain or analyze or look at Sucker Punch, and also 300, and also 300, one of his better ones. But there was a lot of slow-mo in 300. And Sucker Punch had the problem of being that the girls in it don't actually fight the staff. It's all in their imaginations where they're being accosted. So they never actually fight the staff. So this one kind of goes there and have them fight the staff, fight the bad guy. This one's different. They have them fight the bad guy, like a Joss Whedon movie, like Firefly. It's very reminiscent of Firefly. It's like a continuation of that in some concept. In some ways, the one guy's kind of metaphysical. The general, for some reason, the general is. The general guy at the end has this elaborate speech that seems completely out of place. There's all kinds of, yeah, it's just a mess. And I'm a sci-fi guy. Disney, Marvel, Star Wars kind of things, and Transformers things. It's like, and Paramount things. It's like, yeah, you don't do it that way. This is all. There's a lot of exposition and exposition's a word that I used before but forgot. That doesn't need to be there. You just go to these places and how was the king slain instead of telling us the king is slain. Why was that? How was that? What's the trouble with this Watchmen movie was that he was doing that a lot. But I didn't mind the Watchmen movie. I thought it was pretty good. And 300, I thought it was pretty good. But the other ones were like, Batman v Superman, not so good. I don't know. Did he do Man of Steel? He might have done Man of Steel. Not so good. Batman v Superman had that silly part where they stopped fighting because their mothers are named Martha, and I was like, what the oh. Like, you can't say that Henry Cavill was the best Superman. He was absolutely not. The best Superman was Christopher Reeves. Come on. Anyway, come on. Anyway, so that's, my review of the worst sci-fi movie that I've seen this year. I don't think I've seen another sci-fi movie as bad. Let me check my list here. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was pretty bad. But Blue Beetle was pretty bad. It was 2 stars, 2.5 stars. But was it the worst? No. No. Puss in Boots won, but because that was the previous Puss movie like years and years ago. Puss in Boots 2 is good. Flash, yeah. Oh, yeah. But is it worse than Disney's the live action The Little Mermaid? Ooh, that was. I would say yes, but it's a close second to that one and to Ant-Man Quantumania, to Blue Beetle as well. Yeah, it's not a wow. Yeah, Zack Snyder. I'm gonna say Michael Bay again. Zack Snyder, no. Ew, and referencing that the bad guy characters are going on a suicide mission. Is it? Yeah, I don't even know why you want to even mention that word in your context in your movies at this point, because yeah, things happened in your family that was messed up, and I wouldn't have put that in the script if I was you, because that's messed up. Oh jeez. Oh, cringe, cringe. Oh no, don't do that. No. Yeah. It's bad. No. Yeah. Sci-fi movie attempt to make a Mary Sue vehicle for it's clearly a Mary Sue, like better version of the Ray character, and an unmentioned character as well. It's like no, dude, no. I don't think that. I don't know for sure, but I don't think anyone should be proud of this film, living or dead. No, no. Oh, jeez. Why? But just no, no. That's and it's since Star Wars is derivative and all the sequels were derivative of each other and other things. That's fine, but the movie is dialogue is just oh my god. Oh, I bet if I saw that script as a fan script, it was in Transformers Mush, I would have rejected it and had to say, well, I have to rewrite the whole damn thing. But yeah, the villains were ridiculous. It's like, why is the one villain, the main bad guy, the General Hux type of character, why is he partly robotic and he's got like all these things stuck inside him and pull him out and these eel things show up at one point when he's in the chamber and they do the whole Karate Kid 3 laughing in the hot tub thing. They do that in this one. Like, evil. I have these leech things with me and they're attaching to my like circuits in my chest because I'm an android, I guess. Is he an android? Because are they all androids? That'd be weird. Are they just robotic people that were built that way to go to these stars and live on these planets? Because that might be interesting and different. But oh my God, Michael Bay, why? Oh no, not Michael Bay. I keep saying Michael Bay. This is not a Michael Bay movie. This is a Zack Snyder movie, straight up. I think Michael Bay would have done a better job. I think he would have been like, well, yeah, well, ditch all this. But yes, Zack Snyder. But it is similar to a Michael Bay movie, but it's Zack Snyder. Stop with the angst, dude. No. Rebel Moon, yeah. And technically they weren't moons, because if it's referring to the moon of that gas giant planet, sure, that's a moon. But were the other ones moons that they went to after that? Because the moon with the farm on it isn't the Rebel Moon. It's the other planet. It's the planet where they go and find the rebels and kill the squid horse guy. That's the Rebel Moon, right? So it's not the farm planet, even though that's also a moon. If they're all moons of that gas giant, you're ripping off Distant Destinies. You're ripping off Canary Space. So don't do that. Don't rip off Canary Space. That's one of mine. Don't do that. But yeah, but it's thinking Firefly. I think they're thinking it's Firefly. And so the Rebel Moon is the other moon, but it's not that. Maybe a better title would have been Rebel Force, or Rebel Space, or Star Wars. The Star Battle. Star Battle Beyond the Stars. There's yeah, it was a little bit of that in there, yeah. Battle Beyond the Stars. Yeah. But only indirectly. Corman again. So yeah, no, Zach, no. Oh, I can't even say that there were any particularly fun scenes to riff tracks this movie. There were a few good lines, but mostly for that. But mostly, can't wait for Red Letter Media to watch this movie and go, oh, let's do a best special, the worst special, having watched Rebel Moon. I want them. They need to do this. They need to do it because I think they would have an interesting perspective, having seen all the worst sci-fi, horror, and fantasy movies ever, and dramas and things. They don't so much do dramas, do they? Do sci-fi action and stuff like that. We do too. By your own admission, most of these movies I saw last year, sci-fi action movies. No, so of course I'm gonna like them. Also, my sister Ramona played the part of my interrupting mother by accident when she called during the movie review of the Aquaman 2. As I mentioned the credit, she's taking her role. And she also has seen Oppenheimer. That's good. Anyway, but yeah, Oppenheimer is definitely Oscar worthy. But, a little long. That's the way they do it with the Oscars, it's in August through December, or even November and December, they don't listen. Anyway, so that is the end of this. I'm going to stop it right here and not ramble on about other stuff. Rebel Moon is not a good movie, but if you want to go see it, and if you're a sycophant of Zack Snyder, so I'm going to say Michael Bay, go ahead, watch it, fawn all over it. But you have to admit that it's not nearly as good as 300 and Watchmen. Although he actually, I know Mark Scards hated Watchmen. Tim and I liked it. Kind of, yeah, we kind of liked it. So, and the ship sequel, the pirate ship one, as well. But not so. And I've only seen the weird post, not part of the canon, not part of the middle canon. They did a sequel, and then they did a crossover with DC, which was weird. Neither of those really worked. I read them both. But they also did a Tulsa series taking place kind of like Tulsa, kind of like that, which Watchmen took place in that part of the world. But only saw the pilot, and I was not interested after that because they got Rorschach wrong. So it's just got it really, really wrong. Yeah. Because you see, because Rorschach is an anarchist and a narcissist, and Rorschach's character would never ally himself with any political party, and in this movie they imply that they allied with the Klan. He wouldn't do that. He would kill the Klan because they would be opposition to his plan. He would just kill them. He wouldn't like them. Yeah, he wouldn't like them. He would hate them. It wouldn't happen. So anyway, now what they should have done was they should have said the comedian. They were following the comedian's cult. That would have fit because the comedian was a jerk in the story in Watchmen. He's basically he's like an evil right-wing version of Captain America. So yeah, he would have fit right in there. Should have made him the Klan guy. But yeah, it didn't make sense. But yeah, so anyway, that's Watchmen. So yeah, is it on a par with Batman v Superman? Which I don't consider a very good movie. I would say it's worse than Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman had some parts that were okay. It's probably on a par with the butchered Justice League. The one that Joss Whedon helped on and changed some things around. But his 4-hour version of Justice League, that one's better than this. So that, but yeah, it's kind of hard to compare it because it's not really DC. It's its own thing. It's trying to be Star Wars. It's trying to be more. No. DC Marvel. Do not get this guy to do Kingdom Hearts, the movie. No. Michael Bay, maybe, but not Zack Snyder. It'd be too dark and angsty. Zack Snyder could do, because he likes dark and angsty. Think of what he could actually do. Maybe a weird, like proto-gothic remake of Rocky Horror Picture Show or something. That'd probably be up his alley. Maybe more like a Tim Burton thing, wouldn't it, though? Be a Tim Burton. That wouldn't be up his alley. Anyway, so, yeah, there's, Rebel Moon, the Child of Fire. No, Netflix movie, so it doesn't count really as, it's Netflix. This would have tanked in theaters immediately. Everyone like, oh gosh, yeah, and I'd say that. I remember they're comparing it to Jupiter Ascending, and I would say, well, some of the visuals are similar to Jupiter Ascending, and the dialogue in Jupiter Ascending was a little better, but no, no. I'd say it's comparable to that Molly Ringwald movie. Anyway, so, Rebel Moon. Yeah.